Westcast.
Now fix to start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares on the best part of my day. The goods from the woods.
Hot damn!
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley. Pat Riley.
Let's look at that man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour. On the satellite system, on the laser beam system, on the microwave system.
Isn't there more to that?
There's tons more.
Your street, my street?
No, your fault, my fault, San Andreas' fault.
San Andreas' fault, that's what
Bottom
it
made it, Twisted Steel, supersonic sex appeal. You don't like this mess, you got the wrong address, Jack.
And today we are perusing the bargain bin, I guess.
The dollar bin.
We went to the dollar bin of our local record store. Should we give them a shout out?
Yeah, Record Surplus, the last record
Surplus.
store. You might recognize it from the last few lines of the Wesley Willis classic, Suck a Caribou's Ass.
Suck a caribou's ass. Suck a caribou's ass. Suck a caribou's ass. Suck a caribou's ass. Rock over London, rock out in Chicago, Record Surplus. It's the last record store.
Why would anybody suck a caribou's ass?
It's a Wesley Willis song.
Yeah.
Is this like a hunting album? or
No,
some
you
shit?
could also lick a French Mastiff's ass with hoisin sauce.
Why is he so into animals and a junk and like find
Because he was
foods at the
severely
same time?
bipolar.
Yeah, because he had schizophrenia, and that was one of the themes of his songs.
Yeah, my
You know.
friend's older brother's band was called Let's Fight NASA, and they played at the Big Blue Bagel in Auburn with Wesley Willis, and they later got a song written about them because
Nice.
Wesley Willis would write songs about everybody he toured with.
Yeah.
So out there somewhere is just him going, "Let's fight NASA," like that. And
This band played at the Big Blue Bagel.
Yeah.
There were 300 people at the show. The show was amazing.
the
It
show
was a
amazing.
knockout.
Rock over London, rock on Chicago, Wheaties, breakfast of champions.
Yeah, I know. So you might the Record Surplus, great store, and they have a very expansive dollar bin. And for this episode, we went to Record Surplus. We went to the dollar bin. We bought 2 albums apiece, and we don't know what each person bought, and we're going to reveal them to everybody, and including ourselves. So,
Yeah.
Who wants to start? Who purchased some
Well,
gold for $1?
for merely $1, I purchased. The band is 707, and the album is Megaforce.
Oh my God!
And
It looks like the cover looks like a pinball machine marquee.
Yeah, it is.
It's
it looks like it.
It's from the Golden Harvest motion picture Megaforce.
Okay.
And before I play the title track, I would
I've never heard of 707.
I haven't either.
Let me
But
see them.
check out what they look like.
Oh my God!
Okay, so-
beautiful. One of the guys has a toupee that's
look-
like he has a receding hairline.
He looks like an art teacher.
Yeah.
You know your art teacher? He looked like your art
yeah.
teacher.
His name's probably Gary, and and he's got a receding hairline, but he also looks like he's wearing a toupee that's like totally to the side. He kind of looks like Chris Elliott, but he has
tell you this.
a toupee right to the
At
side.
least 2 of the members are balding.
Yeah.
Two
One
of them look like they're from the Suite or something, and the
Yeah.
others
Yeah.
look like they're the backup guys in Journey.
One of the guys
Yeah.
looks like Nigel Tufnell.
This guy, he not necessarily in the face, but he definitely has the Eddie Guerrero facial hair and hair arrangement.
They look horrible. They have matching leather jackets. They probably all bought them at
The
Burlington Coat
guy on the
Factory
far
before the
right
shoot.
looks like he plays Keith Richards in a Stones tribute band.
Yeah, he does. And by the way, if you'll notice, they're all on a boat.
Yeah,
a speed
and there's
boat.
a plane over
There's
it.
a plane flying overhead.
A 737, perhaps.
Yeah, and why not a 707?
So the
world
okay,
won't-
so the band's called 707.
Yes. I actually mistakenly bought this thinking the band's name was Megaforce, and
So
the record was 707, but in fact, they went the other
At
way.
first, when I saw it, I thought it was a Megaforce Records compilation. Like the metal, the thrash metal label.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, this
And then
this
when you see the
cover.
band-
Yeah, this cover does not fall in line with any sort of Megaforce Records release.
Right. So I figure we should take a listen.
I'm curious to know what kind of music they play.
This is the title track. This is 707 with Megaforce.
Oh my God. This sounds like the beginning of a NASA Channel show.
Yeah.
It's like, welcome to space. In the year 1977, they launched the Voyager.
It's on the soundtrack to an episode of Nova.
Yeah.
Is this a concept?
You must understand that space is a very expansive place.
Billions and billions
Of light years away, there may be worlds. All right.
Oh, now that we're
This
out
sounds
here.
like a fucking entrance theme to anybody from the 80s in
Yeah.
wrestling.
Guys, we're going to the beach.
From Lexington, Massachusetts. Oh, yeah.
This is pretty good.
This is great. I'm not kidding. I found my new favorite band.
Now, who's singing? Which guy is singing? I'd imagine it's the short guy.
Whichever one looks like he has the smallest balls.
Yeah. He's got helmet hair, and he also has a really messed up looking face. He looks like he's 50. He looks like he's probably a plumber of some variety or a tradesman. Ooh.
Dude, this is actually pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm pretty into this.
Like Kevin Chalfant is the singer.
I don't
Kevin Chow.
Kevin Chalfant, that's his name.
I don't see any reason why this couldn't be the theme song to a Saturday morning cartoon show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a guy in the
this is
band named Todd with one D. That's sexy. If you want to book them, they're part of American Talent International.
I'm sure there's still...
Yeah, and the 707 fan club, if you want to be part of the 707 fan club, 8033 Sunset Boulevard, Suite
yeah.
We should see what that is
199.
now.
We should go...
I believe
do a
that's
live podcast.
actually right by the Comedy Store.
Yeah, we could see what it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
now.
I still can't get how this guy has a toupee on the back of his head.
The wind.
On one side.
The airplane flying over and blew it back.
They're on the boat. He usually has it combed forward in kind of a bowl cut, but all the wind kind of blew it back.
Yeah.
He looks like God, who does he look like? He looks like Morris Gibb. He looks like a hard rocking Morris Gibb / dentist or something.
He
like
does.
that.
I mean, I said it jokingly, but it's true. I mean, he looks a lot like my high school art teacher, Mr. Dyer.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joe Dyer.
So 707's Megaforce.
707 Megaforce. What's the verdict, everybody?
That's $3.
I say if you find 707's Megaforce in a bin, pick it up. Have you ever bought a record with a funny cover and then it turned out to be amazing?
The only album that I ever bought on a complete lark, I knew what it was, but I bought Stripers to Hell with the Devil. The guys that I was with didn't know who Striper was.
Right. We should say they're a Christian
A Christian hair metal
band. Yeah.
And I believe they weren't really Christians. Or one guy in the band was a Christian.
They probably did a lot of disgusting, horrible things.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
they were like Pantera, where Pantera was originally a hair metal band and then they became Cowboys from Hell.
Right.
That band probably was originally your normal garden variety Sunset Strip.
third string.
Yeah, they were opening for Kicks or something like that, or
Yeah,
White
yeah.
Lion, and they were like, well, we can't make any money this way, so why don't we get into the lucrative Christian genre?
Yeah.
Knowing that anything with the genre Christian is going to be horrible. And then they mentioned Jesus a couple of
Yeah.
times in there, or vaguely something.
Although I will say the Christians have gotten really sneaky with the music because, you'll be like in a town you don't know, flipping around the radio station and hear something kind of groovy. You're like, yeah, all right. And then like you're 2 minutes in and then you realize like, oh, God, this is
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
Christian
but
rock.
you know what it is? It's
But
always
Rush
at
does
least a
the same
few
thing
years.
sometimes, too.
The-
And they're a libertarian rock band. They're a libertarian prog rock band. So you could actually throw libertarian in on the same level as
That's-
Christian as a bad
Yeah,
genre.
except they're singing about Ayn Rand.
Do you think that money is the root of all evil? Have you ever asked, what is the root of money? Money is made possible only by the men who produce. Is this what you consider evil?
Christian shit is always a few years down behind the times, too.
Yeah.
Because it still sounds like 90s pop when you hear it now.
That's true.
Unless you listen to, like, say, a Christian punk band, like, say, Dogwood or something like that.
Right. I wanted to make a correction from last week. I told you that the name of that Yes album was Tomator, It's actually not tomator. It's tormato.
Tormato.
I like tomato better.
So it could either be
A tornado of tomatoes.
a tornado of tomatoes, or a tomato that does Mel Torme covers.
I would listen to
The
that.
velvet ketchup.
Yeah.
My freshman year, I went to the University of Montevallo, which is right outside of Birmingham, and there was a really small coffee shop there called Eclipse.
Yeah.
And it was like the one, really cool place in town. It was owned by my philosophy professor.
Yeah.
And but he also sold records, and I was in there just kind of perusing. And there's a record called Push Push by Herbie Mann.
Yeah, and
exactly.
he's sweaty.
He's sweaty as
Glistening.
fuck. Glistening.
Are you sure this ain't a Tom Jones record?
No, it's
No, because he's like wiry and has like a big mustache.
big mustache,
and, like,
receding hairline.
Yeah, and he's like wiry.
And he's wiry as fuck. And he's holding a flute behind his back and just staring like fuck eyes directly into the
Yeah.
camera, just like.
Why is he holding a flute behind his
Because he
back?
plays, he plays the flute. That's
Yeah,
his-
but why does he have it on his back like it's a sword or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like he
Ninja is
just
reaching
came back
for
from battle with the fucking
and
flute.
he's just fucking you with his eyes.
Yeah, for real.
and
Like
there's steam coming from underneath.
soft
Get that
focus.
picture.
Yeah,
Ooh.
we'll pull it up.
We'll
yeah.
pull it up. Oh my god, that
Herbie
album.
Mann. But I
And
bought
the funny
it.
thing was that he was a legitimate jazz musician. Like he
Yeah,
was
that's what I was
actually-
gonna say. I bought the record because the cover is so ridiculous. Then you listen to it, you're like, oh, this is like really good, just
Like
relaxing.
he had Savoy sessions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he was actually a jazz guy, but like in the 1970s, jazz wasn't sexy anymore.
Yeah.
So like they all just went completely over the top.
Good God, he's working out when he's not playing his
just-
flute.
That's some jazz wolf right there.
Jazz
he's
Wolf.
a jazz.
That
sex
album
wolf.
should be called Jazz Wolf.
Oh yeah,
Someone called
jazz
him.
wolf. One of the albums that I did buy, and I'd never heard the music for them, and I knew them in concept, and I knew that they would probably stink, was the All Sports Band.
What is that? Is that the
Oh
Super
my
Bowl
God.
shuffle?
Or some shit.
They were a band. So this was right after, the Village People had gotten big and stuff like that. So it was
Okay.
post Village People. They were trying to find a gimmick band that would appeal to people, and each person had a distinct character. So somebody in Cleveland decided, and they got signed by Scotti Brothers Records, which is a novelty record
Yeah,
label.
Weird Al's.
Yeah,
label.
exactly. That they had a thing called the All Sports Band, where each guy represented a different sport. So
Oh,
the
boy.
lead singer is a karate guy. So, and his name is Michael John Tost. He ended up becoming one of George W. Bush's spiritual advisors. I am dead serious. I'm not making this shit up.
Oh my God, the lead
So-
singer
was karate guy, right?
That's oh my God.
Became a pastor and then became one of
That's-
George W.'s spiritual advisors.
That's even better than when the lead singer of Orleans got elected to Congress.
Yeah. So there was that guy. The bassist was a football player that would play in shoulder pads, and they're all in full uniform.
Okay, I'm just
Okay, so there's shoulder pads, and he's playing bass.
On bass,
On bass is football
I'm
player.
just immediately picturing William the Refrigerator Perry
It's
from the Super
skinnier.
Bowl shuffle.
He was very much kind of a leaner guy. He probably would have played strong safety.
Okay.
The baseball player played guitar, and he played a baseball bat guitar sometimes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like John Fogerty.
Yeah, and he
What?
like John Fogerty
Did
did.
he have a baseball guitar?
You never seen like when he would do like VH1 Legends, but that's John Fogerty.
And he plays center field.
with a baseball bat guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
Why?
it's like the opposite of. It's like the diametric opposite of Peter Tosh's AK-47 guitar is the baseball bat guitar.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he looked like God. Which baseball player he looked like? He looked like one of those fat guys that would play for the Chicago White Sox in the '80s, like Ron Kittle or Ron Karkovice or something like that. Like he could have been Kent Herbeck's brother. The drummer was a boxer, and the
How
boxer.
did he drum with the
How do you
gloves
drum with the
on?
gloves on?
I don't know how, but he did. And his drum riser was a miniature boxing
boxing ring.
And
Fuck
he would
yes.
He would play in like the robe and the boxer shorts.
Oh, that's tremendous.
And then the keyboard setup looked like a race car. It was like they basically took a race car bed and cut it in half and just put a keyboard in it.
Oh, okay.
Originally, the lead singer was supposed to be a hockey player, but he couldn't perform on skates.
Wait, they were going to have every show in a rink
No, he was going to be on skates.
But it was
Just
no
standing there.
basketball.
on ice skates?
Yeah, there was no basketball. Yeah, on ice skates.
On like a regular stage?
On
though?
a regular stage.
Well, no one
But
could
with
do
the
that.
plastic deals on the bottom so you could walk around in them.
That sucks.
Like the goon.
Yeah.
That would
like
be-
the goon, yeah.
That would be horrible.
and I saw this record and I was just like, holy shit, I need to get this.
yeah.
And it was bad.
Do they sing about sports?
They have ones that are like vaguely sports, like cliches.
You ran for 109 yards with my heart or something?
Yeah,
Lauren.
but the thing is that very few of the songs had that. A lot of the songs were just straight up songs that were just like straight up like
love ballads.
yeah, they had a love ballad. It was like
Song about cocaine.
It was very much pre Bon Jovi.
Proto
Some bands
Jovi.
like that. Proto Jovi. It was very proto Jovi. But it's funny because like my theory outside of the fact that it was a completely asinine concept was that Huey Lewis and the News took the sports demographic. So the all sports band was like, oh, our demographic's taken. And I found a copy of it and I bought it, listened to it. It's the biggest piece of shit ever. And then I looked it up on online, and it was a collector's item, so I actually sold it back to another record store.
Hell yeah.
And bought a copy of The Replacements' Let It Be on vinyl. But yeah, all sports band. Their biggest song was called Jet Set. If you go to the guy, Michael John Tost, who is the lead singer / George W. Bush spiritual advisor, he does have paintings of the all sports band.
Wait, George Bush made the paintings?
That's what I was hoping when I found out that George Bush
That would
is
be
painting
incredible.
now.
If he was the guy painting
The all sports band.
that seems like
paintings.
it would be his kind of band.
Exactly.
Like that's who that was made for. It's just like
Exactly.
a dummy who doesn't know anything.
George W. Bush is probably the biggest all sports band fan in the United States. He is probably planning as we speak a all sports band con to be held at the George Bush Presidential Library at
Yeah.
Rice University or Baylor or whatever.
They just keep him at the presidential library like the band at the back of Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
It's just back there. You can press the button and they'll play.
Well, they were puppets or some shit?
yeah. I bet
Like Bush.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, President George W. Bush.
There was a time in my life when I wasn't likely to be found at a library, much less found one.
so. My album that I have.
What album you got
I
here?
have never listened to this, so this is a very speculative pick like Rivers is, but I've heard the two constituent members of this side project. And
Oh, it's a
both
side
of-
project?
It's a side project.
I already love it.
And both of these guys are absolutely terrible. My pick is Sean and Hammer's Untold Passion.
Oh, Jan Hammer.
Jan Hammer.
Heavy metal Van Hammer?
I wish it was Van Hammer. So Jan Hammer,
Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Miami Vice theme
Vice
song.
theme.
Apprentice of Giorgio Moroder, who's actually
the
good.
cover looks like a rejected Tom Petty album.
Yeah.
Neil Schon, guitarist from Journey.
Yep.
And lover of one of the women from The Real Housewives of whatever. This is a side project from 1981. If you want to look at the back,
What were either of them doing in 1981 that this is a
This
side
album.
this is pre Miami Vice.
Pre-Miami Vice.
So this is Jan Hammer underground, but Neil Schon.
Yeah, I guess he's at the
Journey
height.
was successful,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Neil Schon was definitely given the piggyback to Jan Hammer,
To
so
Jan
he has
Hammer.
faith in Jan.
Jan's good as guitar on
Yeah.
the back that is badass.
He looks kind of like Zamfir.
Yeah,
Master of the
with a little
Band.
Georgia Costanza
Yeah.
in the hair.
He looks very happy. Neil Sean actually looks surprisingly badass in this.
In overalls.
He's wearing
nonetheless.
black overalls with
Like,
no...
he's
He
like a
looks
loose Dexy Midnight Runner.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say he looks almost like, you remember when Kiss took the paint off?
Yeah.
He almost looks like Paul Stanley.
If any
or
of them
something.
were good looking, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they would look like.
Neil Sean kind of, and these, I believe, if I look closely, are Oshkosh overalls. So he's definitely hearkening back to his 3-year-old days.
Yeah.
So he's in this romper, and and he's not wearing a shirt. He looks like
Hillbilly Jim.
yeah. I mean, he kind of looks like it's very much a precursor to what the hair metal bands look like when they stripped down and tried to look a little bit more badass. So later era Extreme or something like that. So he's definitely, this is from '81. He's definitely ahead of the curve. This is their debut album and they played all the instruments on both.
Yeah,
So this is definitely an in-house project. So this is pure unadulterated Sean and Hammer. Oh, actually they got somebody to play bass, but whatever, basses don't count. They produced it themselves. They engineered it themselves. So here we go. This is the first song on it. It's called "Wasting Time." So let's see what it sounds like.
Wow, just out of the gate.
Ooh. What's this?
The bass actually is like the only part that's not annoying.
Yeah, but I gotta say, I mean,
And interestingly enough, that's the only part not played by Jan Hammer or Neil Sean.
oh, they're rocking out here.
To the vocals.
Sounds like a foreigner vocal.
This is very Foreigner. If I was to say,
Guitarist knows way too many notes.
yeah, it's very Loverboy. It's essentially sounds like the band Loverboy, but the guitarist, I don't know what the hell he's
Loverboy.
doing.
Well, Journey was a prog band before what's his ass joined?
Steve Perry.
Steve Perry, yeah.
So he's probably going back to his prog roots. Yeah.
Little known fact: one of Journey's early names for the band was Rumple Foreskin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's got a whammy bar on there.
I know. It's Steve Perry was just like, Neil, you can't play.
Yeah, take your fucking whammy bar and go over to Jan's house. Okay?
Yeah. Can you play something like the band Styx? You know? I need something more sensitive.
It reminds me of the Tommy Shaw. Like it just starts that we played.
The Tommy Shaw was better because the Tommy Shaw was so assholey.
Yeah.
This is just like.
But this is the
Jesus
first
Christ.
song on the album.
There's a reason why some passions remain untold.
Yeah.
And it's because they suck.
That's the name of the record, by the way.
Yeah, and it's
Untold
just like-
Passion.
Oh, there's a lyric sheet in here.
Oh, there's a picture.
Oh, outstanding.
Look at the bassist. The only competent member of the band.
The bassist looks like fucking Frank Zappa.
The bassist looks like a guy that works at like a Middle Eastern restaurant or something.
So Frank Zappa.
Yeah.
Jim Croce or something like that.
I wish this was Jim Croce record.
Yeah, that would be
He
awesome.
was the shit.
Okay, here's the lyrics for the song "Hooked on Love." She's that kind of lady, a once-in-a-lifetime maybe. She moves like summer breezes. She ain't the kind that teases. I was making a mess of my life. She came along and put it right.
So if you ever thought Steve Perry's lyrics were stupid,
Yeah.
you can see he was the best lyric writer in the group.
And Jan
And that's why Jan Hammer does
Jan
instrumentals.
Hammer actually wrote this, so that's why it kind of sounds
You
like
wrote the lyrics?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's
So-
why it sounds like it's somebody it's their second language.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But the Neil Sean ones,
I'm sure it's very beautiful in German.
yeah. Neil
Jan
Sean
looks like he's the other guy's daddy.
Yeah,
he looks
he
way
does.
older.
He does.
Like father and son.
He looks like the guy that works at the keyboard and organ store at the mall. It's just
Or the
like-
keyboard and organ store that's across the street from the record place we was
Yeah,
at.
just like the guy that painfully just walks around the organ store and doesn't sell a single organ for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. But for some reason, that store is open.
Still open.
Yeah.
Plays on church.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Untold Passion by Neil Schon and Jan Hammer. It's in relatively good condition. So
the
this
cover
one,
looks all right. It looks like when they were kind of with like Tom Petty and Heartbreakers logos.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool logo.
it would look good on the airbrush on the back of a T-shirt.
or on the back of a leather jacket, or on velvet in
Or
my
if it
living
was
room.
1981.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So the vote on this one.
oh, it's horrible.
No
it's
good.
horrible.
Yeah,
it wouldn't even sound good in a T-top Camaro.
I mean, they can't all be 707. Let's
They
just be
can't.
honest about it.
That would sound good in a T-top Camaro.
Yeah, it would. If we're telling the truth here, I'm probably going to download the record just so I can have it on my iPod.
Yeah.
Probably going to start listening to 707.
You might start like
That's
working
good.
out so you can listen to it at the gym.
Yeah,
It's that kind of music.
Yeah, or you could start working out in front of a camera, so you could do a Memphis style.
Yeah, like the Fabs. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh, I should
Yeah.
do that.
Although we should actually check out and see what's in the old headquarters of the fan club.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
Sunset, because it is probably right down the street from the Comedy Store. You know, that's where they had 707 Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
Was right down the street from the Comedy Store.
And you know, there is no 77 Sunset Strip.
I know, it was at like 1,000 or something or other. We've been
Yeah.
royally lied to by Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
By the way, I doubt that Jake Weingarten listens to this, but they did have a copy of Santana Supernatural on vinyl for $115.
Actually, ain't it a small world? 'Cause
What?
Didn't Neil
Yeah.
Schon play with Santana?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
When he was a kid. Here's The Ride by Neil Schon and Jan Hammer.
Did a cat jump on his fucking keytar or something?
Skittles! 5 different flavors. You can mix them.
Well, I kind of like this one when it gets going.
Again, the bass is the really good part.
It's like the Brutus the Barber Beefcake thing.
Yeah, because all the other instruments sound like a disaster.
This is just an instrumental.
I like this. It's like a bad Nintendo song.
Yeah, when Super Nintendo finally got the stereophonic.
It sounds like they recorded it on like a Fisher Price like tape deck or something like that.
I can't see it out in Radio Land, but we're all grooving to it.
I mean, the question is always the same. Who is this for? Who is this fucking
It's
for?
art. You can't ask that question when it's art for art's sake.
Come on.
It's for wounded egos and banned politics.
No, I mean, just like, let's paint a picture.
Welcome to the TV 47 community outreach. On Sunday, they're going to have a gun show at the Western Armory.
Monday,
$5.
Monday, chicken fry at St. Michael's Episcopal Church.
The weather outside is 74 degrees, partly cloudy. The fishing report will come in 10 minutes.
Sunrise at 6:35. Sunset at 7:42.
That was bad.
Jesus.
Yeah, so this one...
I like that one better than the first song, though.
but
Yeah,
they're
that
both
was much better.
turds.
I don't know. That was kind of a bouncing turd, that last one.
Yeah.
I had a soft spot for that. The first one was pretty much fucking unlistenable.
But the I think it was the fact that it was an instrumental, A, and B, the fact that the thing that gets me is that their keytar and their guitar sound both horrible and clash terribly.
They're very tinny.
Yeah.
What year did we say this is?
81.
This is 81. Okay, so again,
82 was 707, so we're really stuck in that like turn of the 80s thing here.
Like let's paint a picture. Who's listening to this? It's 1981. This record has just come out. There is a person that's super into this. What's that guy like?
I don't. He's either a huge Journey fan.
Yeah.
Or a huge prog rock fan.
Yeah, it's one of those things like when Joe Perry from Aerosmith would record solo albums. Did anybody actually buy it?
Right.
Like his cousins or some shit, his friends?
Oh, man.
It's like who goes to comedy shows? People's relatives that were involved in making this album.
It's a bringer album.
Exactly.
I think it's a prog. I think it's a very tough.
Yeah.
So it's for prog rock fans
That are holding out that Jan will kind of go back to his 70s
Probably Neil
output.
Schon gave some interview in Guitar Players magazine where he plugged it.
Yeah.
It's probably for guys that want to get into prog rock, but they don't want to be complete like dorks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just like I love
Abacab fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting this.
exactly.
Oh,
This
you know
has
who'd
some-
buy it? The guy who works
some
at the organ
balls.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you work in an organ store,
Yeah.
I don't know, the same people who were buying like the Rush albums of the early 80s,
Yeah,
I feel like.
I think everybody that bought this album never had sleeves on their shirts. There's
Yeah.
a lot of sleeveless shirts.
Yep.
But yeah, that album sucked. That was pretty bad. So, Mr. Goodnight, what did you
Well,
purchase?
this ain't going to sound good in a convertible, I have to say, because I have. This is Just What Heaven Means to Me, featuring Jimmy Swaggart and his Golden Gospel piano with the Nashville Sounds.
Like
you
the
understand?
minor league baseball team, the Nashville Sounds?
Well, no, it's the minor league gospel backing group right here, the Nashville. Is there even a record in this one? There is. But we all know Jimmy Swaggart is the cousin of Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
So I wonder if some of the piano playing
It looks like
went
Jerry
to
Lee
the other
Lewis,
end
too.
of the family. Well, they're related.
Yeah,
they are related.
It has the chisel-shaped hair.
Yeah, it says it has the drinking problem. It says in the back, the homes of America contain more Jimmy Swaggart albums than any gospel artist in the world. The unique style plus the anointing of the Holy Spirit guarantee
So he's-
experience in
Is he
recording.
going to sing in tongues? Is that the question?
I hope so.
Because he's struck by the Holy
It's
Spirit.
like it's
yesterday.
album. It's just in time for Pentecost. This album right here. I like the fact that the Holy Spirit is apparently credited on the back. If we get ourselves seriously, if we get
On
this
base.
if we get this program
On double
anointed
bass.
by the Holy Spirit, we can guarantee an experience in recording. Think about that. That alone. It says right here is the world's bestseller in gospel.
What year is that?
1973.
So, wait, I feel like Elvis probably sold more gospel records than this motherfucker.
Are you accusing him of lying? A man of the cloth?
I think so.
Actually, well, it probably wouldn't be the first time.
I think Johnny Cash and Elvis and even Jerry Lee.
Yeah, actually, I think a lot of people.
He might
But
be-
you know what? They probably consider that too worldly.
I think so too.
So it's probably like
Yeah.
one of those like those independent fundamentalist Baptists. This is the only real Bible believing gospel album right here.
Right.
But it's got the thing. We got to hear how this thing is because I kind of fear it's probably kind of mundane. But who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
Jimmy Swaggart will surprise you. So let's take a listen to the title track. This is what heaven means to me.
Man, these are some horrible harmonies.
Yeah, it's actually a shitty album. They're not in time with each other.
Big surprise.
But it's got a golden gospel piano. It's a good conversation piece to have in the house. You know, maybe put on the mantle.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, invite some Jewish friends over.
Spread the word.
Well, and I guess it makes sense because it's Jimmy Swaggart, and he was kind of the guy when it came to televangelists.
Yeah, well, this would have been like. As a matter of fact,
was he the one that got caught?
I have sinned against you.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
And,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was making sure.
That was in the late 80s, though. This
Yeah.
is 1973, so I wonder. It's on his own label, Jim Records.
What do you do?
And I wonder if a lot of his ministry wasn't through records in them days.
Yeah, did he steal money? Was that his thing, or did he fuck around
He
on his
fucked
wife?
a girl.
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Jim Baker was the one that stole money, but
Yeah.
he was the one that kind of sinned outside the bond.
He got
of
caught
the
with a hooker.
marriage,
Yeah.
But why
I
not?
sinned.
You know, you look at the Bible, Jesus spent a lot of time with the prostitutes. You got to minister. You know,
That's
the
true.
doctor does not come for the healthy, he comes for the sick.
That's a good
And
point.
sometimes he comes in the sick, like,
Yeah.
you know, like Jimmy Swaggart was doing with that prostitute.
Yeah, you
so
know.
why the hell not, really?
Yeah, he had dirty feet. He just needed somebody to wash his feet with their hair,
Yeah.
right?
Would he have found the
From the Bible.
Louvin brothers to be sinful?
Probably because they did a lot of drinking. Like I say, I don't doubt it's like those independent like Baptist fundamentalists that consider themselves to be like the only Bible believing church.
Right,
I'm
right.
sure he probably considered this was the only real gospel music, not that worldly Elvis Presley and that drug addict Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
What did he? I wonder what he thought of his cousin Jerry Lee Lewis, because Jerry Lee Lewis is
Wait a minute.
very much.
Well,
in
I'm
the-
sure that he had a big smug smile on his face when Jerry went down.
Is that his sister that Jerry was married to? Maybe
I don't
think so.
because that was
I don't
his
think
cousin.
they were-
I don't know if it was the Swaggart cousin though.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I don't think so. I think that it was a different cousin that.
I'd have married his cousin too.
but when
Well,
she-
maybe not married because I ain't into that. But
I don't think it was the fact that it was his cousin. I think it was the fact that she was 13.
13. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they do that in like Afghanistan and shit.
So the vote on this one.
That one, yeah.
I'm probably going to vote it down, and it's my own.
I'm going to vote it down because I would say that it's
like Meemaw music.
Yeah, that's just it's. I don't know.
It's not even good Meemaw music.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
It's
My
just
Meemaw
it's
was
the
into
type of
Frank
thing-
Sinatra and
Yeah,
shit.
It's the type of thing that, like, if people feel, well, it's Sunday, I shouldn't listen to something worldly, you put token shit like this on. But
just put on,
But it's elevator music.
Bach or
essentially.
Beethoven. Those are all symphonies to God.
it's very well, that's true, but they're probably too Catholic for some people.
That's fair.
But it's syrupy elevator music.
Who's your favorite televangelist / radio evangelist? Do you have one? Good night.
I actually like a lot of obscure ones. I was fond of Daryl Gilliard, who was on Jerry Falwell's show with his famous sermon, God or Gorilla. There was another one, David Ring, who had, I think it was cerebral palsy or multiple sclerosis. I forget which one. And he had his famous sermon, Why Mama Why? Which was an anti-abortion one. But he got a lot of like pity claps and shit because he kind of talked all messed up. So in the middle of the sermon, he had this impassioned, why, mama, why? Because he was kind of messed up. There's a lot of good ones out there. Although my favorite evangelist on TV is probably Pastor Willie George, who's from like Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, who was because he hosted the Gospel Bill show, which was a wonderful children's western that ran for many years during the 80s.
It's the Gospel Bill Show, featuring Gospel Bill, Nicodemus, Elmer Barnes, Miss Lana, T.U. Duckwater, and the entire Dry Gulch Gang.
It's on Smiley Child Network now if you want to catch it. But they don't show all the episodes on there. It's hard to get, like, there's a lot of fucking Gospel Bill episodes. He even made ones for for adults that were called Bill Gunter, U.S. Marshal. And those are pretty good. So, yeah, I've had
Bill
Gospel
Gunter,
Bill.
U.S. Marshal.
Bill Gunter. You're also known as the Cimarron Trail.
So how
So he grew up. That was like it was like Gomer
Gospel
Pyle,
Bill
USMC.
grew up. Yeah.
But
I did not like Gomer Pyle.
How does okay? So what does he do as a gunfighting cowboy televangelist?
Oh, he never shoots anybody.
Okay. Does he just like
It's like a Western. It's set in the Wild West, but there's a lot of anachronisms because it tries to be funny.
Yeah.
And he has his friends like Nicodemus, who's this dumb cowboy, and Elmer Barnes, who's this possibly slow guy who just goes up to me and goes, "You want us to go fishing?" And there's puppet segments. Sometimes with Bible-themed puppets, like the time that Jesus cured the madman in the cemetery, and there's also this little kid whose head looks like a dickhead or a gumdrop or something called Eugene, and sometimes he talks like this. Gene, I'm gonna quit baseball. And then his sister will come in, and she's like, Gene, you know that when something's worth doing, you can't give it up. Oh, you're right, Gene. So there's shit like that.
So this is just like a gospel version of like Little House on the Prairie. This is
because Little House on the Prairie had things like a budget. This was
filmed in the backyard and in the woods.
But at a little. Eventually, his ministry got big enough so that he was able to actually build like a Western villa, which he called like Dry Gulch because that was the name of the town. So by the time he did those adult ones with Bill Gunter, it actually looks like a low budget cable Western.
Right.
Okay.
But the ones, oh my God, the ones in the 80s, like. They look terrible.
So he was able to build a studio on the rock and not on the sand.
Yeah,
Something more
exactly.
permanent.
Or in Oklahoma, on the Broken Arrow, if you will.
How awkward were the interchanges between him and the Native Americans?
There was never any Native Americans on the
Really?
show. I don't think there was ever anybody who wasn't white. There was an Italian in one episode, and he was played by a non-Italian guy and highly stereotyped.
Yeah,
So,
he
there was-
and he was trying to perform abortions and pool shark the
Get-
kids.
get
and stuff.
Kennedy
well,
elected.
actually, he was a thief named escape artist named the Great Morducci. But it was very.
Followed the Pope by the
Yeah,
word.
now I'm going to cure you of that papacy there, Father God. I just pray that he goes out from under the influence of the Pope. It wasn't the worst show. But there was, I'll say this, there was it was very white. I don't recall if there was ever anybody. No Indians.
There's nobody coming up from Mexico.
There was a
Native
talking
American.
dog. There was a talking dog in the
Did he have like a
They had a
really
talking dog
horrible
before a minority.
Mexican-
No, he talked. His name was Bartimaeus.
Bartimaeus?
Yeah.
Is that a biblical name?
Well, it halfway is. It was Bartimaeus, and it's like the dog biblical name. But apparently, the Gospel Bill show evolved out of some local kids show thing with like puppets and costumes. So in some of the early episodes, there was a guy in a dog suit called Bartimaeus, and it was never explained why he was a talking dog.
So in the Western, it's a guy in a dog suit.
Yeah. No, he's not in the good one. He's not in Bill Gunter. He's not in the grown-up one.
Yeah.
He was in the earlier episodes of the Gospel Bill show. The thing that really got me is sometimes Gospel Bill would play two roles, and he'd play the bad guy as well, a guy named Luther Bedloe. And
what was evil about Luther Bedloe?
Well, he had an eye patch, and he wore a black hat and a fake mustache. And it always got me because like Gospel...
And he talked about evolution.
There was an Evolution episode.
Really?
And it's not online. I've been looking for it. The Evolution episode was the best because this smart-pants professor from back east coming into town, and Nicodemus like, Gospel Bill, he's telling us about evolution. He sounds kind of smart there. And then Gospel Bill came in and just dismantled this guy. What about the Nebraska ape man? That thing turned out to be a pig. And all them same arguments. All them same arguments that you hear from all the
Nebraska
creationists.
Pigman thing, that's the keystone of every
and of course,
peer-reviewed-
Piltdown Man, another, all the straw men you hear.
You know, the skunk ape is fake. The skunk ape is really a man.
All the
Created
straw man
by God
shit.
in his image.
All the straw man shit you hear from all the evolution. Although Gospel Bill never explained why a dog was talking, because
that seems to be in direct defiance of God.
Yeah,
And we went into this because your
Can he be
album
saved?
selection was so horrible.
Well, look, you got to take a gamble. Look, Robert E. Lee took a gamble at Gettysburg, and it didn't work. And like Pickett's charge, I said, Jimmy Swaggart and his golden gospel piano, this is just what heaven means to me. This could be something. And sometimes it's not. I have a consolation prize, which is the soundtrack to the motion picture Double Dragon.
All right. Now we're talking.
This is the main theme to Double Dragon.
Yeah, I don't remember watching the Double Dragon movie.
I don't remember being any good.
I don't think anybody has watched it.
It was disappointing up there with like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
You can't make a video game movie that's any good.
No, but I'll say this. Back in the day, the first Mortal Kombat movie was kind of fun.
Like Tomb Raider, I think, was one of the few that was actually...
I didn't see that one.
Okay, the main theme sucks.
the main theme is pretty
Yeah,
terrible.
I was hoping...
I want to go...
hoping to be based off the one from the video game. But
All right,
Coolio.
I'm going to go to track 3. It's called Love Will Shine on Me.
Oh, yes.
I feel like we can't lose with that. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're bitching here.
Life is a highway.
I want to ride it all night long. Yeah.
This is Latanzi featuring Crystal Taliaferro.
That's old Virginia name.
Oh, yeah. One of these guys. I love these type of guys.
David Bowie?
It sounds like some bullshit David Bowie.
myself to you.
Here's a star man waiting in the sky.
Let's dance. Put on your red shoes.
Oh, yeah. This makes me feel positive.
Latanzi.
I think we paid our dues on this song. We should, But I don't know. This album's picking up.
This album is definitely picking up.
Need one more.
You know, it doesn't really bring Double Dragon to mind, but
this
it's not bad.
this one's called Crystal Waters, and the song is called What I
Okay.
Need.
Isn't that like a mineral water company or some shit?
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
I miss you like the deserts miss the rain.
Oh, yeah. Getting a little bit club here.
Yeah.
Wow, it is.
I like this.
This is totally I miss
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Is this the same person who did the gotta be bad, you gotta be bold.
No,
you
that's
gotta be
Desiree.
wiser. I thought she was a bunch of people, because remember
Yeah.
the video, there was a bunch of her?
Yeah, because
I thought there was a group.
Crystal Waters, Desiree, Cece Peniston, they all are probably the same person.
Who is CeCe Peniston?
That song that's like, finally it's happened to me right in front of
name
my
was-
face, and I just can't describe it.
Her name was Penis Town.
Yeah. Cece. which
CeCe
is the-
Peniston.
Yeah.
CC Penis Town?
No. Penis ton.
Penis ton.
Penis ton.
So she sees a ton of penis.
Now, my question is, if you can, oh my God, it won't go away. What scene would that song have possibly been in?
I'm trying to think of what
CC Penis Town or this? This would be the Double Dragon scene.
Yeah, but
You
what
know?
Double Dragon?
You know, you get the kids that playing with a Nintendo, they pop this thing on, like, I can't wait till I'm old enough to go to the club.
there's actually, according to this, there's 3 songs on here that aren't even in the movie.
Really?
Well, it's called bonus tracks, Grandpa.
I mean, there's 3 of them though. 3 whole songs.
I want to hear some of those deep album cuts from the Double
You know, there was a
Dragon.
lot of fighting in the movie. They didn't have time to put every song.
They didn't have time.
One of them has to have met. Who's the girl from Double Dragon that they're trying to save?
Alyssa
I don't
Milano.
know. The girl that they kill. What the fuck was her name?
No, so they had to have met. Somebody had to have met a love interest to that.
Yeah, because remember in Double
club.
Dragon, the guy walks out and he punches the girl in the stomach, and then he picks her up and walks away, and you saw that little bit of draws that gave you a boner back in the day. Remember that? This is the first thing happens to Double Dragon. The guys come out of the garage and they punch this chick in the stomach.
Yeah.
And she's just wearing this little short 80s like dress, and you lift her up and you can see like her draws. And that was like one of those 12-year-old boners.
So
You know what I'm
either
saying?
Willie or Billy met one of
Billy
those.
or Jimmy Lee.
Billy,
Or
Jimmy
Spike
Lee.
and Hammer, as their names are. If you look at the arcade marquee, they have little tattoos that say Spike and Hammer.
So one of those guys probably met the girl that is unnamed that gets punched.
Marion, I think that was it.
At the beginning of Double Dragon.
I don't know what happened in the movie. I've seen a little of it on cable, but it wasn't worth watching more than like 5 minutes.
Oh man.
Okay.
All right.
My selection.
Oh, you got another.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Andy Kim.
Yes.
Oh, Andy Kim.
Andy Kim.
Yeah. Now on the front cover, he looks like I don't know. I'm gonna go with like Mexican John Travolta.
Or like a Mexican Neil Diamond.
Yeah. Either one of those will work. That's the hair you can imagine. But I'm really not focused on the front so much.
Oh, you're not focused on the chest hair on the front?
No.
Because that's a lot of chest
Let's
hair.
not forget the white suit with the epaulets.
No, because I'm a
houseplant frond.
yeah,
right there.
and all of that is great. But I'm gonna blow your mind
Looks
with
like it should be on the
the
wall
back
of
of the
Mediterranean
record.
restaurant.
Oh man.
Even better.
Whoa!
Yeah. Same outfit, but full on chest hair.
Soft
Soft
light.
lights.
Should be like a Tom Jones record.
Yeah.
They had to file that thing. That had to be on the back, because if that was on the front in stores, women would be getting wet. And there'd be lawsuits, and the church would be against
You'd have
it.
to put it in a brown paper cover, like
Two virgins.
Yeah. Oh man, that is
So
Two Virgins
beautiful.
probably disappointed an entire generation of young girls. Just growing up and seeing John Lennon's kind of funny-looking dick. And they're just like, this is what we're so excited about.
He's wearing Andy Kim is wearing 2, maybe 3 gold chains. He's definitely wearing a Saint Christopher medal.
He only has one button in his entire shirt.
A lot of
button.
yellow gold, but very, very dainty yellow gold. So
Yeah.
he's not wearing like thick chains. These are very thin.
you notice the
He's looking at me.
you notice
from
the
that
chi
angle.
the chi bracelet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a chi bracelet.
He lets the chi out when he sings. That's when the chi leaves his body and goes
Yeah.
into yours.
Does this have "Rock Me Gently" on it?
You better believe it.
Oh, yes.
Fuck yeah.
Take it easy, don't you know?
Sounds of the 70s.
Yeah, I know.
I heard my mom cry.
Gonna go after that because on the sounds of the 70s
It came
commercial,
right afterwards.
it came right after "Rock Me Gently." It was Paper Laces.
All right, your favorite song on that album?
Moonlight Feels Right by Starbuck.
Starbuck, yeah, from Oxford, Mississippi. They make a reference to Ole Miss in it.
Your favorite song on that album, Rivers?
Well, I mean, I have to go with "Dancing in the Moonlight" by King Harvest.
Oh, yeah, always mistaken
or alternately, "Brandy, You're a Fine Girl" by Looking Glass.
Not a bad one either, but I'm going to go with the sweet Little Willie.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of proto glam rock there.
Still the one had to be on there, right?
Yeah, almost.
I think it was.
Yeah, Orleans still the one. Second Orleans reference in this episode.
Orleans.
What's his name was on
Was Baby Come Back?
Baby Come Back by Player.
on
How Long by Ace.
Oh my God! Rock me gently, rock me so. I had a friend that used to call in the number to that when they did the infomercial one.
Mm-hmm.
This would be like 2 a.m. He'd be completely drunk, and he'd call in and be like, "Yeah, man, I love sounds of the '70s. Do you have that one song that goes do 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 do?" And it would be playing on the TV in the background. and the person that's like answering the phone is like probably some guy at some phone call center in India.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
In the middle of nowhere, United States, and they're like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Have y'all ever tried calling one of those numbers nowadays?
No.
I have. Do you remember Freedom Rock?
Yeah.
Hey, man, is that Freedom Rock?
Yeah.
We'll turn it up. Man, I called it like a year ago, and it's still some kind of mail order thing, but they didn't have Freedom Rock, apparently.
Is that a Razor and Tie joint?
What, Freedom Rock?
Yeah. Razor and Tie Records.
I don't know.
Because they put out all of those, like,
Guitar
second-rate
Rock
ones.
and
Yeah,
Freedom
Guitar
Rock. And all that shit. It might have been. I mainly remember the
Monster
commercial.
Ballads. Yeah.
I called the Starcade hotline, and it's now the number for Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Hi, this is Dusty Rose. Welcome to Florida Blue Cross
We got
Blue
some insurance
Shield,
there, Daddy. We're going to hook you up with some insurance there. We take Medicare, we take Medicaid, we didn't take Medi-Cal now, Daddy. I love Medi-Cal.
I always thought
Sting would come down from the roof to operate on you with a baseball bat.
Tony Schiavone answered we're going to put you on hold. I'm going to transfer you to the Boogie Woogie Man. Woo, mercy, Daddy. Boogie Man going to help you out.
That'll put asses on the gurneys.
Just pressed option 7.
Woo! I love this concept. Yes, look, they got that.
Medicare, Medicaid, woo! Sarasota, Florida.
You know, they got that WWE network now. They should do a show where like the former NWA wrestlers are working for Blue Cross Blue Shield now. Yeah. Paul Jones could be working the chemotherapy. You gotta be a bald-headed geek.
If you're between the ages of 18 to 35 and you're female, woo! Press 69. Woo! Space Mountain. Woo! Nature Boy. Longest call line.
I love this idea. Let me put you on hold.
Hello, I'm Gordon Soley. You're currently on hold.
For Spanish, press 2. You press 2 and you get like you get like Hector Guerrero or something.
Yeah.
Por opción dos para. I think I've exhausted my knowledge of Spanish. I'm sorry, all the chicas out there, but I want you to teach me. I'm waiting for y'all out there to teach me to learn your beautiful language.
What's the final selection here?
My second album.
I was going to say a final solution.
What's the final solution here?
Can't Stop the Music.
Yeah.
Soundtrack to Can't Stop the Music by the Village People.
Is there any Steve Guttenberg songs on that one?
Oh, there's a lot of Steve Guttenberg on the cover and a lot of Bruce Jenner on the cover. The Felipe Rose, the guy that plays the Native American, looks intense on this cover.
Yeah.
He looks like Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he's going to kill somebody. Like he's like going into a rage. Everybody else kind of looks, pretty. I mean, even the leather guy, he looks pretty weird because he's all mustache. The mustache has gone completely
He looks
out
like
of
Rick Steiner.
control. Yeah. The construction worker looks like former National League MVP Jeff Kent. But everybody looks about normal except for the Native American who is He's out of control.
Yeah, dude,
Like
he
he
is-
is on
Hey,
so much. He probably
Can't
did
stop the music.
Yeah, he's probably did 3 poppers before they
Yeah,
took that photograph.
his headdress is made of cocaine.
Yeah, everybody's wearing white.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's even more ridiculous.
Yeah,
you
is
know.
he the cop or the admiral in this one?
He's the cop.
It's hard to tell by the white. He could have done the admiral wearing a white Navy
Yeah.
uniform.
Admiral doesn't have handcuffs though.
Yeah, in the Navy.
Is that what that is? I thought that was his belt.
This is the back.
Oh yeah.
Again, you know,
So they're more
it's-
colorful on the back.
They're more colorful. This has some of the hits. Well, it only has a YMCA from the big hits, but
Right.
they do have some absolutely horrible.
Does it have Liberation?
Yes, and I was gonna play that.
Yeah. That's the main song I remember from the movie. I saw that movie back like years and years ago when it was on like TBS at 1 a.m. My favorite part is when they're auditioning for the Leatherman, and they ask him, "What do you do?" And he says, "I'm a toll collector on a turnpike." And he says, "All the toll collectors dress like you, and it's just the hot ones."
Okay, so here is the just a song from Don't Stop the Music. This is Liberation.
I mean, sounds
This
pretty
is
good to
very
me.
rocking.
Yeah.
Like it's when the Village People are starting to get into that like
What year is this?
80, I think.
It's like at the tail end.
Yeah, it's the tail end of disco, and they're getting into that kind of rocky
Yeah.
type
In fact,
theme song.
there's
stuff.
a big like roller disco aspect to the movie. I seem to
yeah, there
recall.
is.
Yeah.
There is.
It was during that era. I think we might have mentioned before where
Bruce
they were making
Jenner's in it.
They were making disco musicals like this and Xanadu.
Shit like that.
There's also a lot of B-level disco artists on here that we've never heard of, like David London and the Ritchie family, which I don't know if they're related to Lionel Richie. This is good.
That's pretty good.
This is pretty good.
Yeah.
This is definitely a deal for $1. On the inside, they have all sorts of photographs from the movie.
It's Steve Guttenberg right there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
A prima Mahoney, Steve
Dude,
Guttenberg.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this little blonde thing.
Well, look
here.
at she's I don't know who is that.
I like to call her Inga. That's my name for her.
Tammy Grimes, I think. Maybe she's June Havoc.
She can get me grimy.
Oh,
anytime,
Valerie
man.
Perrine, that's her name. It's been a while since I've seen Don't Stop the Music, but there is a scene where the Village People are sharing a hot tub with a blonde woman, which that's sexy, I guess.
That sounds like something right out of one of my fantasies. I tell you.
Are you one of the members of the Village People? Or are you?
I probably could be. They could have a second cowboy. I mean, they
exactly.
have 2 like military personnel.
Yeah, the cowboy kind of just.
The cowboy wasn't really holding up his end. Let's be honest.
Randy, I think his name's Randy Jones or something like that.
Yeah.
He seems like a really quality
he didn't
dude. But
look like a cowboy. He
they
looked
have
like
little kid versions of the Village People in one of the scenes right there. There's a little mini leather kid.
Oh, look, the Leatherman has hair everywhere.
That drain probably is just clogged.
That's not soap suds. That's, I'm gonna tell you, that's like when the herring spawn, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is great. I know this movie won the first Razzie for worst movie, but this is
Yeah, but
awesome.
those things are full of shit. Because
Yeah.
Under the Cherry Moon won Razzes too, and that movie is life changing.
and the Felipe Rose, the Indian, is like he's like really out of control in this. He's like biting people. He's yelling. And he's very aggressive, and in the
He probably felt like he was being held down by the cop and Leatherman or something.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, there could have been all kinds
held
of
down by the cowboy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I was happy with this pickup. I was hoping for one of their later Village People albums, like Renaissance.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the new wave one?
Yeah, the new wave one, or the one with sex on the phone.
That shit's good.
Yeah, that song's awesome.
Yeah, if you can find the movie, in the old days, say if you can find the movie, it'll be on at like 2 a.m. It's worth sitting through.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's definitely worth $1. I think 707's Megaforce is definitely worth $1. And that one just flew out.
And Andy Kim.
Andy Kim. And we should have a contest. With these albums, you could win the 3 albums.
Yeah,
is Double Dragon $1 buy, or is that kind of?
That's kind of like a toss-up. 50 cents, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna make a package here of the 3 albums that were definitely worth $1. Write in and to our email address.
Yeah, it's thegoodspod@gmail.com or on Twitter @thegoodspod.
And what should they do?
Just tell us if you want the albums. We'll send them.
Do we get email from people and shit?
Yeah.
Women, write in if you won't get with Mr. Goodnight.
Yeah. Write your best. Write an essay as to what you would do if you were hanging out with Mr. Goodnight.
Yeah, and make it
the
as
best essay,
dirty as possible.
Yeah, make it as dirty as possible. Make it as creative as possible. But write a short paragraph. What you would do if you could hang out with Mr. Goodnight. You're not going to win a hangout with Mr. Goodnight.
Oh,
but
no,
you
you
will
might.
by-
You might.
Yeah, you might if you were pretty
If you're
enough.
a lady and you can get to
Yeah,
the
you
Los
might.
Angeles
And you can get the
I am your
Sepulveda.
fantasy. You know.
But you will get the 3 records.
Yeah, no, don't discourage them from writing in, because people fall in love with people over the radio all the time.
So before we go, I wanted to read 2 quick things from the Disgraceland Picayune. One, Clearwater, Florida. A woman, possibly from Michigan, is being sought in the theft of a Hulk Hogan wrestling shoe from his store in Clearwater Beach.
Oh, brother.
Yeah. The autographed shoe, worth an estimated $5,500, was taken about
I
5:20.
wore that shoe, dude, when I body slammed Hercules.
I wore that shoe when I fought Jay Leno, brother.
Is this a
I
shoe or
wore
a boot?
it at Road Wild, Jack.
I looked at it. It's kind of a half and it's like
is
a
it like-
high
okay,
top. It's not a boot. It's like
not a wrestling boot?
It looks like it's a wrestling boot, but it's not. It
Was
doesn't.
it when Hulk Hogan
It's
did
an
that
ankle boot.
that wrestling casual shit where you have the yellow cowboy boots and
They
the
weren't-
weightlifting belt and the red tights?
No, it looks like a white high top shoe, but it's a wrestling boot. Police said 4 white women, all possibly from Michigan. I don't know where this
Where is this
detail.
Michigan shit
This
coming
detail
from?
just keeps. I'm assuming they're all wearing like Wolverine's clothes and
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
when they come in. 4 white women, all
It could have
possibly
been Ohio
from Michigan.
State fans that were trying to.
Went into Hogan's Beach Shop in Clearwater,
true.
Florida at 5:16 p.m. 4 minutes later, a large statue of Hulk Hogan fell outside the store.
Is that like an omen or
That's
something?
what I was thinking. Like the Caesar, the statue of Caesar falls over in Rome, or the statue of Saddam Hussein
or
is
Lenin
toppled.
or something like
Lenin,
that.
yeah, de-Stalinization. Workers temporarily distracted, and that's when the theft occurred.
This is elaborate.
Yeah. Employees did not discover that the Steve Cardello, that's the brand of shoe, was missing until Tuesday evening, and then they reviewed the video from security cameras and solved the theft. Anyone with information called the Clearwater Police at 727-562-4242.
What are
So
the
who
chances Bobby Heenan was behind it?
Was it the Dungeon of Doom that stole it, or was it Aces and Eights that stole it?
It was Miss Elizabeth.
Aces of Eights, brother. Bring back my shoe, dude.
It's a publicity stunt for the launch of the WWE
It
network.
could be.
Yeah, it was the mailman, Karl Malone.
It was General Adnan, and
He's possibly from Michigan.
it's a bunch of angry Iraqis.
Yeah, who's from Michigan?
Yeah.
Steiner.
Oh,
Steiner.
Steiner. Ooh.
Fucking Rick Steiner did this.
Yeah.
No, it was Scott Steiner and his freaks. Like Scott Steiner has like kind of a Manson family. It's called the
Yeah,
Steiner
it's
family.
freaks.
And it's his freaks that follow him around and they do biddings. You know.
He probably
I want
knocked
you to
the-
go to the Hulk Hogan store. Steal what he did. He held me down. He buried me. Would put me over.
Although, doesn't he actually like the Hulk stuff?
Yeah, I think he does.
You
That's
don't
what I'm
like
saying.
Ric
It's
Flair.
Rick.
Yeah.
Rick Steiner would be the one.
I don't think Ric Flair was behind that.
I'm saying that it's probably Sergeant Slaughter, General Adnan, and Colonel Mustafa.
The Triangle of
behind it.
Terror.
And that's why they knocked over the statue, because it's symbolic
Yeah.
of when Saddam Hussein's statue got knocked
I
down.
like that. I was with Slaughter's rules. Remember that, which is no rules at all.
Yeah.
So this is the next and final story. A woman allegedly crashed her car into a church and then stabbed her husband in the chest after telling him, quote, "The devil is in me," according to police, to a police news release. This is in Churchill, Tennessee. Steve Hammond told Churchill police just before 10 p.m. Sunday that his wife, Stephanie Hammond, drove her car through the front doors of Providence Church. He went into the building to check on her after she called him from the church and found her lying in front of the altar. She then rose up and stabbed him.
Was she a
in the
vampire?
chest. Exactly. There's so much weird shit happening here.
Okay.
She rose up
Why
and
is this alleged, too?
yeah, well, 'cause-
She allegedly rode her car into the church. It's pretty obvious whether
yeah,
you
it's
have
pretty clear who did it.
Yeah.
She rose from the altar and stabbed him with a large kitchen knife. He pulled the knife from his chest, returned to his
Bad
apartment
move.
across
Bad
the street
move.
from the church, and waited on police to arrive. Stephanie Hammond was found by
for an
police
ambulance.
around 20 minutes later at a Holston Valley Medical Center in Kingsport. According to the news release, Stephanie Hammond said that she had decided to live for God, and that night God told her that she should not smoke marijuana all day and night, and God said that she should only smoke pot to relax at night. Yeah.
So God's into medical marijuana, but not recreational.
Yeah, not
God
recreational.
likes to watch Hogan's Heroes and get high too.
Yeah,
Just like any
but
one
medically.
of us. Yeah.
And now here's the sentence of the year. Stephanie Hammond also said that she was mad because her husband was, quote, worshiping the NASCAR race down at Bristol, end quote, according to the release. She also said God wanted her to get in the church.
Well, she did that.
She
very
fucking did that,
expediently.
yeah.
Directly, if you will.
According to the release, she said, so God told me he wanted me in there. So I drove my car through the front doors. Stephanie Hammond continued speaking to police and said that the devil told her to bring the knife with her. I laid down in front of the altar.
So she was listening to both at once.
Yeah.
I could think of better churches to worship NASCAR in, like Talladega.
Yeah, Talladega's better than Bristol. Come
Hell,
on.
I would take Loudon
Daytona.
Speedway.
Yeah,
in New
Atlanta.
Hampshire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know
Bristol's
what, though?
like one of those kind of.
Yeah, but maybe it's the closest one.
I reckon so. Yeah, this is Churchill after all. I laid down on the altar till he got there, she said, according to the news release. I prayed I would not have to use it on him, but I did.
She was exorcising him of the spirit of Jeff Gordon because he's the devil in the South.
I thought maybe this is like an Abrahamic thing or something.
It sounds
You know,
like, yeah,
God says, kill your husband.
Yeah, like it's a reverse Abraham. You lay down on the altar and then spring up
Well,
and
it's a
surprise
trap,
him.
you know?
Yeah.
And then the spirit of Dale Earnhardt holds the knife.
Oh, happy dagger.
Kill Yarborough was the best.
I'm
Kill
the holy
Yarborough.
intimidator.
Yep.
Kill Yarborough was when men were men.
Yeah.
And when racing was real.
She then asked if her husband was dead and said she smokes a lot of weed. I love to smoke it, she said, according to the
Yeah, but
release.
I know a lot of people that smoke a lot of weed, and they usually just sit there and watch the state with their mouth open.
Yeah.
They don't go into church and try to perform human sacrifices.
I love to smoke it, she said. According to the release, sometimes when I do, I start seeing things that others don't. Isn't God good? He told me this would happen, and just look, I'm okay. So
was this an April Fool or some shit?
I don't know. This was like a week ago. She was charged with attempted
Pot is a
first-degree
hell of a
murder.
drug. It really
Was
is.
she smoking pot or was she smoking synthetic pot?
Yeah,
I was going to say, it sounds more
That's
like
very
some
much like Spice or K2 or something
Yeah,
like that. One
That's
of those.
probably what it
Yeah,
was.
she was smoking that stuff that you get at the flea market,
The head
at
shop.
the head shop. You
On
know,
Venice
Because
Beach.
pot isn't known for encouraging people to do anything out of the ordinary. Unless
Anything at all, really.
Yeah, unless out of the ordinary is, say, like, I don't know, masturbating the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Or just
you
like,
don't do
you know,
anything out of the ordinary when you
late
smoke pot.
night run to Cactus or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you get in your car and you drive to the nearest like 7-Eleven
stand.
in
You
Emporia,
buy
Virginia.
or the fucking you buy the the Munchies thing. It's got like the pretzels and like the flaming hot Cheetos is like a trail mix.
Or you order Sounds of the 70s on a lark.
Moonlight feels right. Moonlight feels right.
We have the 3 albums. Email what you want to do with Mr. Goodnight if you guys were to hang
Yeah.
out, and we will send them to you.
Yeah.
with
You
some
Just tweet at us even if you want.
Tweet at
or
us.
this
Send a
runners up.
letter.
This runners up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I'm yours, basically. If you're out there and you're a woman.
There'll be swag in there.
Yeah.
There'll be 3 fantastic albums. It's really a $5 deal,
Yeah.
regular price.
There'll maybe even be some swaggert if you want that too.
Yeah, there we go.
It's not even part of the package. It's
But if you
bonus.
want it, it's the total package.
It's the total package.
So yeah, hit us up on Twitter at The Goods Pod, and find us on Facebook, facebook.com/TheGoodsPod, TheGoodsPod@gmail.com, and yeah, music this week.
Brought to you by
The numbers 1, 7, 0, and 7.
yeah, perfect. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you.
The Goods from the Woods is mixed and edited by me, Rivers Langley, and distributed by Westcast Network. Our theme song is composed by DJ Smiles. You can find him online at djsmiles.net.